Hello and welcome back, all you painters out there. November is going to be unofficial Reaper mini month here at the painting clinic. Basically, the issue is I've been painting so many really big projects lately, I decided just to step back and paint some regular player character type figures, ones I can get done in a few nights and maybe just show one or two little tricks. But very simple paint jobs, essentially, kind of to take a break from all those big projects. So we are kicking it off with our Reaper Tiefling Warlock figure here. Pretty buff devil guy with a whole lot of doodads hanging from his belt. There's not going to be a whole lot of narration in this video, so I'm just going to pop in here and there where I have something else to say. Other than that, mainly this is just going to be, watching the layering process at work and giving you some ideas for color combinations for your own miniatures. So enjoy. The cloak here is pretty much the only place I decided to do something a little special on the figure. Remember, these are supposed to be simple paint jobs. I thought about doing something really complex, but nope, we are keeping it simple and just doing one or two different techniques on each figure. So we are doing a stippling process, just dots with the brush here, and this is a very light stipple pattern. I'm not doing into the recesses because I don't want to lose the effectiveness of all those really deep folds. If we put too much texture in there, it's going to start looking like much more like a flat panel. Also, one unusual thing I did was I added a yellow glaze afterwards, mainly because I just wanted to see what it would do. And I thought about what's the most wrong color I could possibly glaze onto purple, and yellow popped into my head. It did give it a little bit of a gold sheen though, which helped it to tie in to the gold used on other parts of the model later. Breaking out the red ink glaze here once again, kind of like we did with the cloak. This time it's because that tan that I put on was just a little bit too stark, and so I needed to add a little bit more red to it. So rather than repainting it, we just put on a little thin, even glaze of red ink. That's very thin red ink, and just brush it on. About 2 coats is all we need, and that will tone down that really intense tan color. This figure is covered with items and pouches and what have you. It's a little bit ridiculous. It kind of looks like a Rob Liefeld character. And there's 2 ways we can go about painting all this stuff. We could paint it all its unique color, but then this figure is going to be really visually loud, and it's going to look kind of clownish with a little blue here, a little purple, and a little green there, and a little yellow. So we want to use more muted colors and try to use the same colors over as much of a wide area as we can. So the Charred Brown, the Beasty Brown, and the ochres that I use shortly, those colors are used not excessively, but used a lot through this area to tone down all his equipment so it doesn't stand out too much. We're adding brown ink to our glorious gold, basically instead of water to thin it. The brown ink is going to thin it. It's also going to give the gold a little bit more of a shade color, so we'll get a bit more contrast when we move on to the highlights. Now, I didn't do the research, but I'm pretty sure warlocks can't wear heavy armor, but RPGs, you know, there's rules that change everything. But I wanted to give him a metal hand, essentially, even though that might be against the rules. Mainly because it is against the rules, because I kind of like the story of this guy. Why does he have one metal gauntlet on him? It adds a little bit of character to the piece. Also, painting it a steel color allowed me to add some blue wash to it, which ties it very well into his robe color, so that blue color carries throughout the whole figure. And there is our finished Tiefling Warlock. We kick off Reaper November, as I said. This one actually took a little bit longer than my plan for this month. Like I said, I wanted to spend 1 or 2 nights on each figure. This one took about a week, mainly just because there's so many little items on his belt that had to be picked out and painted and identified too, just trying to figure out what some of them are. Took some time. But he came out pretty decently, I think. So there you go, and hope you enjoyed and got something out of it, and we'll see you very soon with another figure. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
I'm the god of hellfire!
I god of hellfire!